Alright, sup fellow citizens, welcome back to the Path of Rage in the next episode of our Star Citizen Weekly News. We've got some 4.21 patch notes to go over now that it has gone to all waves for all backers. We've got changes to Wiccolo and his reward system, changes to the ground turbulence in ships, and a new referral program to go over. We got a fair bit to discuss, so let's get into it. Now currently 4.2 is live for everybody, and it just recently on this weekend received a hotfix update, fixing a few little things on that. But what we are going to be focusing on today is the 4.2.1 patch, because it's got some quality of life improvements that are actually going to make a pretty big change to how the game goes, and something that's going to make owners of a certain ship very, very happy. They have currently lowered the turn-in requirements for PTU testing on the Second Life resource drive missions. We've got some recipe updates for Wiccolo again, and these are taking out the RNGesus, but we'll get into that when we focus on him specifically. We've got some executive ship component updates. Here's a big one. Stanton space stations are having their security forces added back in, and this also includes quantum interdiction. Now, security has been missing for a very long time. We used to have it back in the past. They took it out because of how bloody often security was stopping people, especially in quantum. It was kind of getting ridiculous. But now that the game has got as many players as it does, and they're working more on the quality of life, security is a big thing that needs to be implemented in this game, because for right now, pretty much everywhere you go can feel like a PvP nightmare. Especially if you're somebody who doesn't want to engage in PvP. If you're more into the industrial careers that Star Citizen has to offer, you're not looking to get into combat left, right, and center with other players. Well, the space station security forces and interdiction forces are going to help with that, and it'll be similar to the way it was in the past. Originally, you'll get a single ship come checking it out, but as you go up in crime stat, or as more criminals show up in these protected areas, more and more security will show up until eventually the UEE Navy shows up to take you out. We'll have to see how they tune this. It's CIG after all, and they don't do anything by halves, so it may be overbearing at first, or it may not be enough. We'll have to see, but this is a good addition to 4.2.1 because it's really, really needed at the moment. We are also getting the Volt pistol. Again, it's another one of the new Volt weapons. They are pretty badass. They've adjusted and polished the repositioning movement and the attacks of both the juvenile and the adult Valakars. And here's the big one. Reclaimer owners are going to be very happy to know that their ship now has point defense systems and cannons to help ward off enemy missiles. This is absolutely needed on the Reclaimer. It's basically a capital ship, salvage ship, and it does not have nearly enough defense, especially considering how slow and heavy it is. A nice nimble group of fighters can get in there and absolutely wreck its day without really being able to do anything back to them. But now, with these point defense cannons, they'll have a bit better time, at the very least, getting away. They've fixed the paint not applying to the Tumbril Nova ballistic Gatling cannon. They fixed the placeholder names in the Mobi-Glass for the collector vehicles tab. They fixed the issue with the Want Polaris mission where that needs something special wasn't stated what the required item was. Well, that's Quantanium, and now that's been added in properly. And the Wiccolo mission contractor name is showing as uninitialized. That has also been fixed. Now, one thing they've done regarding that Second Life resource drive missions is that they now have earnable rewards that you can only get for doing these missions from each of the systems, ArcCorp, Crusader, and Microtech, etc. They all have armors and weapon skins that are tied to that mission giver. And I gotta admit, of the 4 of them, the Crusader ones look really, really cool. which doesn't really surprise me because the Armitex armor from the Crusader area of Stanton, or the Hurston area of Stanton, pardon me, is absolutely my favorite looking armor right now. So I'm going to probably go for some of the missions from them. Get those cool looking skins. Now, regarding the turbulence in the ships, again, YogiClat stated in the forums that the turbulence in the ships was meant to prevent you from just hovering statically in the air wherever you go. There should be some sway, some moving around, just like you'd see with, say, a helicopter nowadays. It doesn't hover there completely still in the air, and they want to replicate that in the ships. However, it was overtuned from what YogiClat said. Now, the cool thing about it is one of the users on Spectrum pointed out a bug that led Yogi to find exactly the error that was in the code, and he was able to fix it. The flight model wasn't cleaning out wind information after it left a wind zone, so you got very stormy winds inside of hangars, and even with an Idris inside closed doors, because that was not being turned off. So it should be fixed in the PTU 4.2.1 now. And for the time being, he said that they're turning off the ground turbulence. That's different the turbulence you get in high speed winds or clouds, and they might turn it on by case basis depending on how much time they have before this patch ships. But this is a nice little improvement. Again, the fact that somebody just pointed out a direct link or image to one of their bugs and explain exactly what they got led him to fix a bug that quickly. Yeah, I like that. It shows the importance of the issue council. So those of you who are playing this game, be it live or PTU, especially PTU, please hit the issue council and put in your bugs. The more of you get, and the more people say they have an issue, the more CIG knows how to narrow it down and fix it just like this. So let's keep that going. Now, on to the Wiccolo changes, and these are very, very nice. So, they say, I'm going to read this out so you can hear it in their own words. We've been actively reading and looking to address some of the feedback surrounding Wiccolo. The experience we intended was for you to deliver a suite of items as part of the patch content and receive physical rewards instead of just credits. The premise was that Wiccolo could check his stock and then give you something he had in return for your delivery. But the execution of this idea is something we want to improve. We're always looking at the community feedback, and based on what we have read so far, we have identified some key areas for improving the experience. So for 4.2.1, we've made the following changes. Number one, and by far I think the most important update to this, no more random rewards. All collector rewards will become deterministic, meaning you'll know what you are going to get when accepting a mission. All existing Wiccolo contracts will be like this now. This was a pet peeve of mine from the Wiccolo missions. It's why I haven't done very many of them, because you get a vague description. Hey, do you want a gun with horns? Here, do this. But you wouldn't know exactly what you were going to get. Do you want powerful ship, whatever it was? Like, you didn't know what you were going to get. And if you went on the forums or Reddit or X, wherever, social media, you would see people in the comments talking about the fact that they do missions for Wiccolo, and because it was RNGesus, they'd get the same gift over and over again. So if you were going for a suit of armor, well, they'd get the chest piece but never a leg. So they'd have 4 chest pieces, but not the legs, or vice versa. They get the same ship over and over again, and if that's not the ship you want, well, that makes doing the whole thing kind of pointless, because you can't sell your ships. The next thing that they've done is they've separated the contract tabs in the Moby-Glass. So all these missions are split out of the collector tab into the following. A will be for vehicles, which includes the Atlas, ground vehicles, and spaceships. And B will be other items, which is armor, weapons, and miscellaneous, whatever he feels like giving you. So you'll know what you're going for right away, like even before you look at the missions. If you don't want to go for a spaceship, you want to go for armor or weapon, you just go to the tab. Now, the other ways they're looking to improve the Wiccolo experience in future updates, not for 4.2.1, one, they want to give us the ability to put all the items that we need in a single SCU box for delivery, instead of having to do it grab multiple things out of your inventory, put them into your personal inventory, drop them on the floor, and being able to put them into a box for delivery would make so much more sense. And again, it's because they don't have the inventory system finalized to where they want it. They want to split up the Wiccolo missions even more, but have them split between global Mobiglass missions and on-site contracts that you can pick up when you are there. So you'll have the ones in your Mobiglass wherever you are in the system, but when you go to one of his 3 shops, the banners in the shops will basically be like a mission board, and you will walk up and accept the contract from them. Again, this is not in 4.2.1. Another big change that they want to bring, and I wish they had brought it already, was that you will be able to submit any mission you pick up from Wiccolo at any of the 3 locations, instead of having to go to one specific one to turn it in. This also includes the ability to turn items in at one location and the rest at another, which, you know, that makes perfect sense to me. So some of the stuff that you are grabbing will be closer to one of his bases than the others. So why not go there right away, drop off the part so you don't risk losing it, and then go elsewhere and go to the nearest Wiccolo store from there. Again, not in 4.2.1, but coming in the future, and I think that's a big one that needs to happen. And instead of having a separate contract for each Wiccolo favor, they want to have one contract that tells you to submit X number of this part or Y number of that part. Kwaku from CIG also said that in a future 4.2.1 patch, they want you to be able to split the cargo missions into separate tabs as well, which they're going to take care of. Right now, you've got like 100 missions in one single tab. In the future, they want you to do the initial expander mission, like the very first starter mission for these, and after which that tab will vanish and you'll have the hauling mission split in 3 different grades: bulk, supply, and small grade. So you can narrow down that huge list to find the ones you're looking for. There's no point looking for the bulk grade hauling missions if all you've got is a ship that carries, 12 SCU. All in all, across the board, these are fantastic and very needed changes to the Wiccolo experience. And to be fair, it's right in line with what CIG has been telling us is going to happen with Star Citizen this year. It is a bit of new content that's been added in, and then absolutely focused on with the quality of life updates very, very quickly. And I like this pace that's going on. Again, we're not seeing a lot of new features added in yet. That's been the case all through Star Citizen's development. But that's what's led to a lot of the grief about Star Citizen. It's taking forever to get even a hint of stability because they're always adding new stuff. Now, they're doing the new stuff in the background, not adding it yet until it's much more ready. But they're giving us those quality of life improvements to make the game feel like a game. And to be fair, it is working a lot more smoothly now. Yes, it's got its problems, but overall, both patches, 4.2 for everybody on live and 4.2.1 on the PTU, are very large improvements over prior patches. And now we get into the changes to the referral program. Now, those of you who have been following my videos, you'll know in the description down below, I have a referral code down there for anyone who wants to use it. You can or not, as it's up to you. This new version of the program starts on July 2nd. It comes with a refreshed rewards ladder, revamped, sleeker interface, improved tracking tools, and an overall fully rebuilt system. So for those who take advantage of it, it should make the progress on that more clear, the rewards a bit more meaningful and frequent. They've also updated the reward for new players using a referral code, and they get $50,000 instead of $5,000. Now, in the end, what does this mean? How does this affect both players giving the referral and new players using it? Well, for new players using it, it only affects them with the $50,000 bonus money for starting the game, which, to be fair, is a nice amount. I think it's a much better amount than $5,000. It gives you a much bigger head start if you're new to the game. So if you are interested in this game and you're picking it up, use my referral code or anyone else's by any means. It does not matter to me. I'm not trying to shill from my own channel here, but use it, because that 50,000 will come in very handy for a new player, especially as new players tend to make very costly mistakes. Again, use mine, use anybody's, but if you're a new player, use it. Now, for the people giving the referral code out, like myself or anyone in the future who's going to do it, it starts on the 2nd of July. Like I said, there'll be a new legacy ladder that you can view in your account settings that will keep track of your referrals, old and new. You'll be able to sort them by weekly, monthly, yearly, and all time, depending on your referrals. Anyone who does have a prospect, so somebody who used your referral code but hasn't bought a package yet, you'll be able to view and track them from your account settings as well. Those of us with a referral code out there, again, like I have in my description, don't need a new one. That code still remains valid. One other thing that will affect the new players using the code, there's a 24-hour grace period after the account creation. Anyone new using the referral, if you forget to use it while you're creating your account, you have a full day to add it to your account retroactively. They made these changes just to ramp up the speed and give it a modern look and improve the usability. And the cool thing is, this is where it gets real interesting for those of us handing out referral codes. The more referrals you get, eventually, and they say, no, it's not an April Fool's joke, eventually you will get a Misk Raptor as a legendary reward on the updated ladder. It's still in development. It's still going through the vehicle pipeline, so you'll receive it at a later date if it's not available when you get enough referrals. But for those of you who are interested in getting your referral out there and recommending this game to as many people as possible, you've got a decent ship coming to you at the end of it if you pull it off. And that is it for our Star Citizen coverage this week. There were no video updates from CIG, no shadow drops of ships or vehicles on us like sometimes we get. So a somewhat quiet week, but with some big changes coming that really improve the quality of life. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it informative, folks. If you did and thought I did a good job, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new if you want to hear more. Sound off in the comments below what you think about these patches, what your experience in Star Citizen is right now. I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, though, I've been Rayjet Games, this has been Star Citizen, and I will see you in the verse. Bye-bye.